On the list of things you should never do or admit to as an automotive journalist is, well, your preference for a brand or two. Fact is, it's no secret, I've been a long-standing big fan of the Volkswagen Auto Group. And I will add that I'm kind of fond of what Toyota's doing at the moment, and against my own wishes, Kia and Hyundai are I'm starting to warm up to them. And I do like what Dodge does, you know, and then there's some GM trucks that are nice, and, you know, I kind of like Mazdas a lot too, and oh, whatever. Point is, I like Volkswagens. Look, I have, I don't know, 12.5, maybe more shirts and hoodies and sweaters of various older vehicles. One recent one from the brands, oh wow, if I include Porsche too, maybe almost 24. Wow. And fact of the matter is that I've owned, I think, 7 or 8 Volkswagen products in the last 23, 4, 5 years. In fact, I still have 3. And if I extend that just to my absolute immediate family, my 2 brothers and my parents, there are 4 other Volkswagen products. There's one model that does come back quite a bit, and that's the Sportwagen. And this is where I'm going to go with this, okay? I am going to allow myself to give Volkswagen a stern warning. Yeah, I'll talk about the GLI in a minute. That Volkswagen, if they want to avoid mistakes that other automakers have made in the past, where they've essentially abandoned their core group of enthusiasts and brand supporters, Nissan, they're going to lose out, Nissan Infiniti. And they want to avoid that absolutely by effectively killing the Golf, killing the Beetle in North America. Well, the Beetle everywhere, but they're taking a risk, in my opinion. The risk may be calculated. It's very, very possible that it is, because they're keeping the GTI and they're keeping the Golf R. And while the Jetta, for the moment, is still available in Canada and the US. This is a Mark 7.5 2023 Volkswagen Jetta GLI, freshly revamped, updated from the 2022 model year. And it's a funny thing what's going on with this car. I myself own a Mark II GLI, not a GTI, but a GLI. And going as far back as I can remember, there was always a rivalry between GLI and SI and you know, these sport, compact, hot import cars. And of late, somehow I've not heard or read in the same breath Civic Si, Subaru WRX, Elantra N-Line, and GLI. There's something where the GLI and the GTI, but the GTI has an absolute untouchable legendary status, so it doesn't apply here. But the GLI is straddling the line between being an old man's car like me, oddly enough, or not, and an enthusiast sport compact car. And though it does both things well, it doesn't do either thing well enough, I think, to be not more appreciated, but more appreciated. And if you just take the SI and the WRX, they are built and designed to do some very, very specific things, and they both excel at them. This is built and designed to be comfortable, to be quick, to be quiet, to make noise, dumb noise, and be spacious and handle well enough. And it does all of that, but it doesn't make it special. There's the point. Thank you very much for watching. No, but seriously, the GLI is still a really, really good car. It's not special anymore. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm really, really curious to see what is coming for the Jetta and the GLI, because next year, or 2024 model year, will mark the GLI's 40th anniversary in North America, right? It was introduced in 1984, the Mark I, The Mark 1 is so beautiful. And I mean, look, Volkswagen did a quasi hoopla for the 40th anniversary GTI, 40th anniversary in North America GTI, so maybe they'll do something for this. Maybe they'll make it a little bit more special, I don't know. But will there be a Mark 8? I want to believe that there will be. And this is back to my warning. If Volkswagen plans to replace this, unless they're going to do it with an ID3 GTX, for example, just you can't build a following and a bunch of supporters on a Taos, a Tiguan, an Atlas Crossport, an Atlas. You know, the buzz will do something, but just stern warning, Volkswagen, North America, Canada. All right, the GLI, you know what? We're gonna do a quick tour of this car because, well, I half kind of reviewed it first drive last year, and it's still great. I mean, it is great. Bottom line, it's still great. And then we're gonna take it for a drive. As you can maybe tell, I'm not exactly in my hood. I'm actually on my way to a Volkswagen Drive event where I'm gonna drive the new 2024 Atlas. That review will come out before the Jetta GLI, so in the present, this is coming first. In the future, this is gonna come after. Walk around, drive, thank you. Please hang in there. And now a few words. Oh, also, I mean, there won't be a following based on the ID4 or the ID7. Just say, just you know, hammering my point a little bit more because, hey, it's my show. All right, Mark 7 Jetta. I mean, if you ask me, the only Jetta that isn't, well, less attractive would be the Mark 5. But then the Mark 6, the Mark 4, and all the other older ones were just a heck of a lot more, I don't know, visually appealing, less wanting to be a bloated premium sedan. They were just being Jetta. And for that, I appreciated it. I mean, the updates made for 2023, you know, different grille, slightly tucked bumper. I mean, visually, if you put them side by side, you can see the differences. But if you, you know, walk away and you try and remember what has changed, you might guess, I don't know, taillights and lower bumper trim, and you'd be right, that's about it. Okay, so in the US, the base Jetta, the regular Jetta, starts at $20,665, whereas the GLI starts at $31,585. Volkswagen has one of the most competitive, in a way, pricing structures of any automaker when you compare US and Canada pricing, because the base Jetta starts at $23,295. That's a very, very tiny difference. And the GLI is $33,095. That is insane, insanely small gap between the two. There's only one way in Canada to get the GLI, and that's totally loaded. So 18-inch wheels, the full GLI body kit with the skirts and the bumpers and the tiny little spoiler and the wheels and the badges and all that business. With the dual exhaust, you get an 8-inch display, keyless access and keyless start, Beats audio, navigation, 10.25-inch digital IP, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, heated leather seats. That's kind of funny. And you know, that's about it. There's a few other things that you do get with the Jetta, and it's one of the cheapest ways to get at them, one being dynamic chassis control, but I'll show that to you in a minute. I guess it's good looking. I don't know, I find the SI a little bit better visually sorted than the WRX. Well, it's grown on me now, and the Elantra N-Line is still pretty. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so trunk. There are a bunch of things. Well, 399 liters. As with most generation Jettas, and there's a ton of space. Look how deep that trunk is. It's huge. I mean, you could almost have two adults lie in there side by side without putting the seats down, but I won't volunteer for that. Because, well, I'm out on my own. This is just, you know, I'm all alone in the car, and because this is now this is probably larger than a B5 Passat, like from about 20 years ago. The wheelbase is enormous, so there's a ton. This is my driving position. The seat's set up that way. Look at the amount of room you got in here. It's huge. You can slide 3 across if you really want to. But enough of that. All right. So, you know, the GLI touches this right? It's nice, fit finish is good, you know, and everything works. Seats are actually quite comfortable, but there's a weird thing going on with Volkswagen cars. The same thing with my Mark 7.5 Golf, but the lumbar support is always insufficient. I think maybe I'm the problem or the Germans have different backs. I don't know what it is. A quick shot of the dashboard. The steering wheel is really nice. Let's just slide on the board. Start it up. Nope, my passport. All right, so there's your 10.25 inch display. It is semi-configurable with the different views and stuff like that, so that's kind of nice. While the 8-inch loads up, you can do it. Come on. I don't understand kids these days. They can wait, but they're so impatient, whereas I'm oldish and I can't stand waiting for this. But in the meantime, the good thing about the Jetta, the Mark 7.5 Jetta, is that you still have physical HVAC controls compared to, say, a Mark 8 GTI. So this is a nice thing. It works really well. In fact, it's essentially exactly what you'll find in any Mark 7.5 Golf. And all right, so the same thing with the HVAC here, the full display. I mean, you have the fixed controls on the side, which are actual shortcuts, believe it or not. I mean, I'm in radio and I can go to app. Well, if I had CarPlay on, yeah, that's me. And then navigation and state the phone instead of going through all kinds of silly menus. For that, it's brilliant. Storage is actually pretty good, very Jetta-ish like. It works out quite well. Yeah, I know. I was heartbroken when I saw this, but you know, I'll tell you more about the DSG, but nothing you don't already know. Door bins. I love Volkswagen. They're ginormous, and I love it.
What would you like to do?
Cancel. That's what I like. Yes, thank you. All right. Okay. Well, that was a demonstration of that. Visibility is actually pretty good, and the steering wheel has wonderful grip. And I think I've said enough, so let's just go for a drive. Right. Almost forgot drive modes. That's what I was trying to say. So eco, comfort, normal, sports, and what I was going with the DCC is that through custom, you can see that you can adjust settings for the dampers, which is fantastic. And I found so far that normal is the best layout. Usually I go for comfort, but I guess because this is a compact-ish car, it's light enough and the chassis is pretty good. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Back to the drive portion. Yeah, DSG. You know what? It really, really works well. There's no reason to complain, truly, you know, about it. The greatest highlight, though, about the DSG is that I think its cost, the cost to get it as an option on Volkswagen products has been $1,400 for as long as I can remember, which is kind of insane given how everything is overinflated price-wise nowadays. But yeah, 7-speed, you have the paddles on the steering wheel, you can, you know, the sport mode, the manual mode and all that. It works really, really well. I mean, nothing beats in my mind really, you know, a 6-speed manual transmission, which is still offered as standard, thankfully, with this car. Also included, obviously, is a 2-liter turbo, well-loved, appreciated TSI 2-liter, which produces 228 horsepower at 6,500 RPM, 258 pound-feet of torque between 16 and 4,500, I believe. So, I mean, the pull is sustained as always. It's a really, really nice engine. I mean, I'm in my custom drive mode, and it wants to pull quite hard. I have the XDS, so that's also included with the GLI, so locking differential up front. I have it on sport because I like to feel it kind of bind up when I put the hammer down hard. It's not my car. But yeah, so what I was saying about the DCC, right? So I have it set in normal, and right now I'm taking like a little country road, and is that it actually turns out to give just enough travel to allow enough up and down and wheel travel when you're on these types of roads to keep things settled or comfortable, and obviously without playing against the handling of the weight transfers and all that. It's a really, really nice setting, I find. It's one of the rare ones where normal outdoes comfort, which is nice too. It's just I'm in that mood. What can I tell you? Steering is ultra quick. I can feel things going on, but I think most of it is in my mind. It's not exactly what's going on, but you know what? The response to communication is satisfactory enough for me to say that it's nice, and it's very quick too. Brake pedal travel is a little bit longer than I would like or actually remember from previous GLIs. Maybe my memory as far as that's concerned isn't that good. All very, very possible. But still, braking power is quite nice. I really can't complain as far as that's concerned. It's a really, really nice car. But I mean, to track this versus tracking a WRX or an SI especially, not quite the same. Oh, and the dumb noises, okay? When I picked up the car, the drive mode was set in custom, but it had the engine noise business at sport. And I was wondering what was going on because every time I would apply throttle, the dash would rattle. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, dash rattle produced by the bass of the engine sound digitizer or whatever. Silly, stupid, ridiculous stuff. Otherwise, I don't know. I've got nothing else to say. It's a lovely, sporty, compact car. It's not my first choice in a segment. I think that would come down to the WRX because of the all-season, absolute crazy, performance potential. The SI, though, that one makes you work, and that's what I love the most about it, and which is why it's the least popular probably in the segment, or at least among other sport compact cars. And this one aimed at guys with, this much gray, my least favorite. I think I like the Elantra N-Line better. So much for my enthusiasm and passion for Volkswagen products, eh? Anyhow, that's it. I'm out.